Welcome back to the 12 Days of DFIRmas podcast, where we sit down to talk to people who are shaping the future of digital forensics, incident response, and technology that supports our most critical investigations. Today, I'm excited to welcome Manny Kressel, a leader in hardware and forensic tooling space and a key voice behind BitMindz. Manny brings a rare perspective to DFIR, one that lives at the intersection of hardware engineering, supply chain realities, and mission-driven technology. All right, Manny, welcome to the 12 Days of DFIRmas. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I was excited to see what sweatshirt you were wearing because the last time I had you on DFIRmas, it was all crazy.
Yeah, it was. I had to go with the Darth Vader thing this time.
Oh, I can dig it. What is it, Sithmas?
Merry Christmas.
Mine's like a jersey. It's like December 25th. But I do have like my little Grinch earrings. I found these. So
yeah.
I don't know. I made a small business happy when I purchased them, so I was happy about that too.
Yesterday I had these on.
Oh. See, this is what I was expecting. When you joined the call, I was expecting this.
Yeah, some kind of high level of craziness.
Yeah. Can you work with those on?
I don't know. They probably get annoying. Yeah. I think I'm going to take them to the conference coming up next week.
Oh, that'll be good. What conference are you going to?
The Florida ICAC in Orlando.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's always a good one. And it's always so pretty because they have everything decorated for the holidays and stuff like that inside the conference center.
Yeah. Yeah, this will be the first year we've gone to that one. So I'm excited.
So at the conference, what are you showcasing? Can you tell people a little bit about what BitMindz does?
Yeah, so we build high-end forensic hardware. Usually it's geared towards military, law enforcement, government. Like that's our main focus. That's been our main focus. I mean, sometimes we get corporate customers, but a lot of the times the corporate customers are retired law enforcement that had our machines beforehand. So they contact me after they go to the corporate sector and they're like, hey, we need another machine. I want to buy yours. So we build high-end forensic workstations. I call them processing engines because nowadays it seems like we're just processing a lot of data. I mean, there's so much data that's out there. We're processing the data. I mean, it's still a forensic workstation, but I just kind of wanted to do something different.
How did you get into that?
So in 1997, I hired on with Gwinnett County Police Department, like Metro Atlanta, Georgia area, and did like the basic thing, like went through the academy, did routine patrol, got into detectives. And then around 2006, we had another examiner in the lab and he left to go work a corporate job. So I was in white collar at the time, and the sergeant that was there, he was like, Kressel, get in the lab, you're next. So that's when, 2006 is when I went in the lab, but I had like a lot of computer experience beforehand, building machines, that kind of thing. So that's where like the computer forensics and computer usage from previous years, since like 1985-ish, that's kind of how it all blended together.
You have so much experience. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So do you build like components too for the systems, or are you building, like, tell us, how do you build a machine?
Yeah. Usually it's getting like your motherboards, the RAM, the processors, putting it all together, building it, putting it in the machine, getting like bay devices. Oh, well, there's a couple kind of like this right here. Like we'll install this, and I install this. This case I buy, then we put this component in. But it's typically buying, acquiring all the components and then putting them in, a machine like this. Which this one's my favorite. I'm getting ready to put something out because it's small, and I can pack in this almost the same amount of power in a small form factor machine like that and save people money than you can buying a big, overgrown system.
Yeah.
So but then I do have, I work with a company here that I work with their engineers, and I had a chassis designed. So that's our main chassis that we use. But this one I buy sort of off the shelf. And I don't know, it's kind of my favorite because, I mean, with this, you can, you can write block devices. Here's a bay to plug in drives, so you can move data. You can put data into it. It's loaded with, like the latest AMD processor. You can put a big graphics card in there. You can load the board with NVMEs, like any data, any hardware you can think of, you can pack in this machine. So
with everything going on, I mean, I can't imagine your industry is easy to work in because I feel like supply chain has been an issue since COVID. Like I don't think it ever fully recovered. So are you seeing like any supply chain issues now with all the stuff going on, especially with politics?
Oh, it's horrible. Like it's as worse. No, it's worse than how it was at COVID. At COVID, there were supply chain issues because everything was shut down. But now with the tariffs going on, and then the biggest thing, the supply chain issue is with a lot of it is the RAM for the computers.
Yeah.
Google, Amazon, and Microsoft are all in, and this came straight from, there's a factory that's maybe 15 minutes from us, and thankfully we got to do a tour. Like one of our wholesalers got, a few people in to do like the tour. I guess it's something, most people don't get to do. So we went in there and they said that Amazon, Google, Microsoft are all buying up as much RAM as these manufacturers can produce. And they're buying it all for ECC RAM so that they can use it with Threadripper and AMD processors. And that's all for like the race of AI superiority. So what's happening is the three manufacturers, Hynix, Kingston, and Micron, those are like the three big manufacturers. Like if you buy other RAM, a lot of the times they put their little heat sink, like their spread unit on top. But it's usually one of those three factories. They said that they're buying all that up just for AI superiority, and because they're printing out so many error correcting code RAM sticks, they basically just disregarded desktop RAM. Because, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, they got the deep pockets to just keep buying. Like those factories are basically just working to make those companies RAM so that they, it's just like I said, like the race for. So that's messed a lot of stuff up. Like it goes to so they use the same type of stuff on NVMe sticks. Like NVMEs sometimes are hard to get. Desktop RAM is hard to get. Error correcting, like the ECC, for like the ECC RAM for Threadrippers and EPYC processors and Intel Xeons, It's non-existent. I waited 4 weeks just to get 4 sticks of 64 gigabyte RAM for a machine. So it's crazy.
Not great.
No, and
we both
now
are in an industry that's being impacted. What are we doing? Why do we do this to ourselves?
I don't know. Like every once in a while, RAM goes into a shortage because I think one of the factories over there burned down maybe like 10 years ago. But now, and it was fine for a while, but now, and then like you go online, a pack that used to cost me like to get 96 gigabytes of RAM, a pack that used to cost around like $300, $350. I mean, I looked this morning, it's $1,400.
Oh my gosh. Don't tell me that. I don't want to know that.
It's like 5 times the price of what it used to be because there's just a short, it's the same old like economics thing of supply and demand. They're not making any desktop RAM. So people are buying all the desktop RAM because the manufacturers they're all, churning out ECC RAM.
So what's your workaround? Like, how do you deal with the customers? Especially like for me, we quote someone a price, right? Without having this, I wouldn't say it's an unknown risk, but it is a known risk. But it's definitely not built into the pricing structure of it being 5 times more expensive. So how are you dealing with that? How do you manage it?
It's just coming down to like working with the wholesalers they've thankfully I've been able to get some of them because the manufacturer that's right here, we kind of befriended them just because, they're close and the guy comes by the office. So, like being nice to somebody really helps.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So like he'll get us some inventory, but a lot of the times I'm either having to work with the wholesalers and begging them and telling them, hey, these machines are for law enforcement. Like, please help me out. Cause it's not for some and not that this is bad, but like, it's not for some kid that's, sitting at home in the basement playing Call of
Right.
Duty,
Like this is mission oriented. Yeah.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So it's that, or I feel like some kind of like internet website stalker. I'm constantly on the websites looking for the cheapest price, like B&H, Newegg, CDW, ProVantage, Amazon, everything, everywhere you can look to see if somebody puts a price that's cheaper
Yeah.
on the RAM.
So when your wife sees you at night just scrolling, it's really
Yeah,
just
yeah,
you looking for hardware.
yeah. That's actually happened.
She's like, go to
Literally.
bed.
Yeah. No, because you can't shut it off because you're like, how am I going to get these machines done? And I think your question at the beginning was like dealing with the price. It's hard because I have machines that I quoted 6 months ago that this wasn't happening. So I quoted them because nobody forecasted this was going to take place. So now, basically, if I buy the RAM at $1,400-$1,500, I may not even make any money. I may be paying out of pocket to deliver the machine.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess it's like one of those things where you're hoping, right, in business, it comes out in the wash type of saying, right? Where maybe it's expensive now and then down the road it drops in price and then it all evens out and at the end of the year, hopefully it balances. But what we were seeing before is with some components that we have in our kits, the price went up because of supply and demand, but it never came back down. And
Yeah,
so we had to figure out how to navigate around that in terms of pricing and just basic economics, like right of running a company of like, what do we do? Because I don't
I,
want to increase the price of my unit because my unit is benefiting law enforcement that needs it, and we all know their budgets. So
right.
it's kind of like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, yeah. Because I know you get it, and me being in law enforcement before and working with the finance people, once that quote's in and the PO's cut, like you can't. I know you can't go back and say, hey, I need another $3,000 because I can't finish this machine.
Yeah, you just kind of have
Like
to
you
deal with it.
gotta suck it up, and it just is what it is.
Do you think that we're going to be shifting back soon? And like if you could look
I
into
don't
the future, do you think that it's going to shift back or do you think it's going to be constant struggle?
No, I think it'll shift back because we've had bad waves of supply chain issues in the past. I think eventually, I think Microsoft, Google, and Amazon, they can only use so much. I know that kind of sounds crazy, but it's like, how much more RAM do they really need? Probably a
Hopefully,
lot.
hopefully not too much.
Yeah. But
Selfishly, I say that.
yeah, but I guess I'm saying it because of this, because like going to the factory and actually seeing them like literally taking the little blanks, the little RAM blanks, and like seeing the chips going on them and seeing them on the spools and the reels and stuff and actually how it's made. Like, I feel like they could churn out. I don't even know if this is an accurate number. Like, I feel like they could do thousands of sticks of RAM a day. So a huge factory overseas. Of course, I haven't seen those, but I'm thinking those got to be big buildings. I
Yeah.
feel like in 3, 4, 5 months, they have to be able to churn out hundreds of thousands of sticks of RAM. And like, how many servers are they really putting in? So I feel like it has to stop at some point. Like,
Do you
you
think
know,
your
you
tour of seeing the facility and how they build these things was it helpful? Because it sounds like it's like I know how many you can produce. Like I don't understand.
I think it was helpful. And then it also kind of gave me some insight as to like, is this somewhat of a manufactured problem? I
Yeah.
guess intended to like, I don't know, take advantage of the marketplace right now and blend it in with the tariffs and blend it in with like, everybody, not a lot of people struggling with prices and
A perfect mixture of chaos.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
what it sounds like. No, I think it would be bittersweet. I think it would be cool to see the process. But then in the back of my head, I would be thinking the same thing. Like, I don't
yeah,
know, is this really a problem or is this like a made up problem?
yeah. And it was just a small portion of it. And they wouldn't let us take cameras in there, which I get. Like,
Yeah, that makes
I
sense.
think when we were in there, I know we're getting a little bit off topic, but I think they were stamping out something for military jets.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I was kind of wicked. Like
Yeah,
I
that is
saw
neat.
I saw one of the name tags in it. I think I kind of deciphered what it meant.
Yeah. So
But
going
I don't
back to your tactic on like how to get around it and mentioning law enforcement, did that work? Does that work?
with
With
acquiring
yeah, like do
the
people
RAM.
like understand? Are they more willing to work with you on that, or is it just like
Yeah,
first come first
yeah,
serve?
most of them understand if you tell them that there's an issue, and I mean you can kind of Google it. I mean and you can go on, like you can go on Amazon right now and look up a price for 248 gigabyte sticks of RAM, which is what I was putting in the machines. You can Google it, and it's like, oh yeah. And then some of them, you Google it, and it shows delivery in like January.
Yeah,
So
that's crazy.
yeah, thankfully, thing is, it is impacting the larger volume sticks. So like the 32 gigabyte sticks to get to 64, or even if you did like 416 gigabyte sticks, like they're not, it's not impacted as much as like the higher capacity sticks,
Yeah.
because everybody wants more RAM. So if it keeps going this way for a while, I think what I'm going to end up doing is like just changing it back to like 4 32 gigabyte sticks in a machine, which is much cheaper than the 48s. It's when you want the high capacity is when you get
Yeah,
ding.
you just have to like be adaptable and adapt with it. Yeah. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
But the thing, not to get too off topic, but the thing is like, how much RAM do you really need? Because I have a lot of people that say, oh, I need that amount of RAM, or I can use this amount, or this. I've watched like different programs run in the background, and there's only a couple of them that I see that really use like over 100 gigabytes of RAM. So like the basic machines, they're not. I mean, like, just I don't know. I'll use the example. I'm just gonna say like Axiom, because that's like I'll test it regularly. Um, I mean, it's great software, but I've seen it upwards of 60, 70, sometimes into the 80, but not like consistently. Like it doesn't hit 80 or 90 and just stay there. Like
Yeah. It just
that's like the
spikes.
peak.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, great software, but I don't think the software is using as much RAM as people think that they need.
Is it just something where people are like, maybe I need to ask for more in that just in case scenario, or it's just like an education point where they just need to be educated on like what's realistic.
Yeah, I think it's more like an education point. Like they just need to be educated on, you know. But I will say that some of them will tell you like, well, I like to run VMs, and I'm like, well, okay, I sort of get it. Like with the
Yeah.
VMs, because you need to allocate a certain amount of RAM, but still, 128's a lot. But I mean, if you start having multiple VMs, I mean, I guess you could have like two of them running 32 gigabytes, and then you still have 64 for the machine. So still like 128. I mean, I might have to just step down to 128, and it is what it is
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, education's a core fundamental of life, right? So
Yeah.
I guess it's good. All of us are forever learners. So I know
Right.
when we first met, you educated me a lot about hardware. So, and I will be forever grateful.
Yeah.
It's just like I didn't know how I even got through my career without knowing like half of the details that you gave me. So I'm like, thank you for
Yeah.
that. Um,
Yeah.
so you already mentioned law enforcement and you're going to the ICAT conference. Is there I wanted to ask you what other missions that you support? Like what are different customer groups that you support now? You support everybody?
Yeah, it's mostly, I mean, most of it is all law enforcement. I mean, we've built machines in the past for military, for applications that they have that are like you would expect.
Okay.
Like the military, Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, we've all seen some of the stuff that's going on lately with, military operations. But I think for a long, since like 9/11, there's always like for lack of better words, like the war on terror. So they're always there's always their combating mission of, making sure the United States is safe. So they have to do certain things to look at phones, look at drives,
Right.
so that, yeah. But the ICAC mission, I don't know, to me it's my favorite, most important mission, just because I did those cases for so long.
That
And
makes
I don't
sense.
know, it's just a good thing. Like, you have, between that and like the human trafficking, which is a huge problem now.
Yeah.
And I know there's agencies out there like the um um like, I think Operation Underground Railroad and Operation Lightshine, they're all heavily involved in supporting those people that are combating against like the human trafficking, which is, I don't know, to me, that like those are the two big things. Like, those are just like, both of those are just crimes that shouldn't happen, like between terrorism and human trafficking and like the ICAC stuff. Like, it's just nonsense. Like, it's
Yeah.
just, it doesn't. I get like the regular crimes like burglary and stuff. Like, I did that. I worked in detectives. And they're working cases like that. But to me, the ICAC stuff is the most important.
Well, I think there's also a level of empathy for different crimes, right?
Right.
Like all crimes are horrible, yes. Someone
Yeah.
breaking and entering in your home and stealing your TV, it's not great,
Yeah.
you know? But then someone, trying to actively exploit your child
Oh
or
yeah.
worse, that's a different level like of empathy that you need. I know it motivates me when I'm hearing the most, like when people are giving me back how they're using my tool set and how it's impacting their mission. That motivates me.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have that experience. Like, do people share with you their experience with some of the hardware solutions that you're providing and how that helps them?
Yeah. Sometimes you either gotta see them at a conference or follow up with them and actually ask them, hey, how is the machine helping you out? Or, like, how's it running? And then it's kind of a segue into them saying, oh yeah, we got this person, we got that, this person, that person.
That's got to feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you're giving them the tools they need to get the job done. Or, I mean, otherwise they're sitting there with a slow machine. There's a lot of people out there still running like an off the shelf
Yeah.
solution, or just some old computer that they can't, I mean, they could barely use it.
Yeah. It all comes down to budget with that stuff too. So,
Right.
do you have a lot of flexibility in terms of like helping individuals? Maybe not flexibility isn't the right word, but um, influence with grant writing or anything along those lines for hardware pieces. Like, do people come to you and say, "I don't have budget to support one of these machines, but I need it because I'm running this machine that's ancient and it can hardly load anything."
Yeah. Um, so I for a little while I was working with a company, and we were working on some grant stuff together. Um, and I mean, I'd like to continue to do that. I just know from my law enforcement days that like grant writing is a long drawn out process. Like, that they actually made us write a grant once, and oh, I'd much rather just go back to forensics and you look for fake IDs on a hard drive than
How,
than write a
how long is
grant.
the process to write a grant and get it passed?
Oh, it was horrible. It was I think it was like almost 100 pages of work and explanations, and given all the like data that they need and filling out the forms, and it was bad.
I
Like, it
always
was
wondered, like, who's the person on the other side that's reading all of these? Do they
a
read
machine.
all of these? Do they
Yeah,
like? It's got to be
they scan
impossible.
it in.
That's why the cycle's so long. Like, oh, I have this,
Yeah,
like, the grant has a minimum of 100 pages, let's say. So you have to write at least 100 pages explaining all the processes and procedures or whatever you need, whatever the requirements are. But on the other side of that, how many grants are they receiving? And there's 100 pages each. And then it
yeah,
usually goes to a panel. right? So everyone on the panel has to read it. So
Yeah.
that's a lot.
I remember, now it's coming back to me. I remember when we did this, we were in one of the conference rooms at the police department, and I was at the end of the table, and there was like 3 or 4 people on one side of, each, so that's like 8, and then there was 2 more. There was like 10 of us, and everybody had a certain part that they had to work on to get it done.
Yeah.
No, it
I'm
it's too
sorry.
much
I
work.
brought it up. You're having flashbacks now. It's not
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
We'll shift gears completely.
yeah.
Um, so if someone wants to collaborate with you on building a machine and stuff like that, what is the process? Like if a customer reaches out to you, where do they start? What do they do? What do you need from them?
Usually it starts from either an inquiry off the website or like word of mouth, and then I'll usually just get an email, and then most of those I field, because I don't think I've ever gotten, we get those sales things all the time, like, hey, do you need insurance? Hey, do you need this? So like you got to weed through all that. But to start, like, like a building a machine or a partnership kind of thing, I mostly just kind of weigh out, who it is, what are they looking for.
What if they
That
don't know what they're looking for? What if they're like, do you just go through and like, okay, what software are you using?
Yeah, for like a customer, like if they're looking for a machine, that's usually the first thing I ask is like, well, what software are you using? Because that can impact the decision a lot. But most of the, I mean, I shouldn't say most, like all the machines that I'm building, like they can handle pretty much any of the software packages out there. I mean, I can tell you the 2 that require the most resources, and to me it's not a bad thing, are Nuix and FTK, just because Nuix is like, they'll chew up as much RAM and CPU power as you can throw at it. Like
Oh,
there
wow.
is no limit on there. So I mean, it's great software, but it takes a lot to run it. And then I think you probably know, like FTK, it, it's just resource heavy.
Yeah, it is.
So if they say that, then I know that I have to get them like a good database, for their database. So that's usually the first question. But nowadays most people, they just say, well, the usual, Celebrite. Sometimes it's XRY. I got Oxygen, Axiom, everything. So
Yeah, so you're like, all right, well, I mean, I would imagine it's kind of like once you start building these machines, you kind of get a sense of like what everyone needs. I just didn't know if you had customers call you that already had a sense of what they needed, if they had to have a sense of what they needed, because sometimes it's not the end users that are calling you that are the technical gurus, right? It's like someone in procurements that's like, I don't know what we need. I just have this list of things that they run. These are the
oh
type of
yeah,
cases.
oh, I get those too.
Yeah.
And you just got to walk them through it. I mean, I've been building professionally now for a, no, end of this 12 years. Sorry, I was thinking 11. But end of this year will be 12. Like, building forensic workstations. So no, it's kind of easy to walk them through. It's like, well, what do you need? What are you using it for? Then it's what kind of software, and then they say, well, I don't know. Then then they basically, then it comes down to like budget. And I never like asking that question, because I don't like people thinking I'm milking them for a cash, because some people think governments have deep pockets,
Oh
and
my
they have
gosh.
money to spend, but they're not sitting on the gold. They're not sitting on the treasure chest of gold coins that they're cashing in, like.
Yeah.
So I always hesitate in asking that question, because I don't want them thinking, well, let me not tell this guy the total amount I have to spend. Like, I just need to know, like, are they at like 6,000 for a machine, or are they at like, they don't care, like 15? Because there's a big difference. You can do a lot more with, I mean, obviously, you can do a lot more with a bigger budget.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So sometimes I have to go that route, but I hesitate a lot, just because I hesitate on that one, just because I don't want them thinking I'm trying to.
Well, I think pricing is always at least for me for sales call is always awkward. I will tell you everything you want to know about the tool set. I will tell you like I love giving demos, But when it comes down to pricing, it's an uncomfortable conversation. And I think that's natural. Unless you're at a brick and mortar store where you're like physically grabbing things off the shelf, it's not as uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So that's natural. But so at the conferences, you bring machines, right? With you, you bring a couple machines with
Yeah.
you so people can see what they look like and all that other stuff. And I know that you
Yeah.
have like the best swag usually at your booth. What are you bringing to
Yeah.
the ICAT conference? Can you give us a sneak peek?
Oh, yeah. I shipped like the normal stuff, but I got to pack like today because we leave tomorrow. I got to pack the USB holders. They're like, I take these. They're the little USB holders, and they have
Oh,
like, like if you have all your dongles and stuff, you stick this on your desk.
oh yeah. So they don't like get ripped
So
off.
yeah, SD cards, USB, and then little micro SD.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, and then
Do you 3D print those?
the 3D printers in the other room, and then I printed like little. I mean, they don't have the BitMindz logo on it, but I don't really care. And I only have like, I don't know, maybe 12 or 15. So if they see this beforehand, you'll have to get to the booth soon. It's a little, it's a TIE fighter, like a Star Wars
Oh
TIE
yeah.
fighter, except it looks like a snowflake, but you have
For
to
the
take it
holidays,
apart.
that's
Like,
cute.
it's a little model and you have to like snap it together.
Oh my gosh. So you only have like
So
12 or 15 of those?
yeah, it takes like an hour to do them. And, I get busy in here and then I forget to hit the printer to do print again because it
Yeah.
just does one
No,
time.
that's good. I feel like that's a good booth swag because it's like signature item. You gotta get over there
Yeah.
soon to get it.
Yeah.
Ah, you heard it here first. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well, that sounds really festive. So what other fun things do you have going on for the holidays? Do you have a special item that you're putting on your wish list? What does that look like?
Yeah. I think I'd like to have a new MacBook Air, but I just the basic. Like, it's crazy. Like, I build all these workstations and all these Windows based stuff, but when I'm working on email or quotes or anything like that, I'm always on an Apple. I'm always on a MacBook.
I'm the same way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I converted over to the dark side, like with Apple. My husband bought me a laptop, and I was like, oh gosh, I can't ever go back now. Like this MacBook is got everything I need.
Yeah, I tried a couple times. Like, I thought, and this was maybe 7, 8 years ago. I was like, I'm supposed to be like the king Windows person for like hardware and stuff. Why am I on a Mac? And I tried going back, but I don't know. I can't get as much done as fast on the Windows machine as I can on the Mac, like between screenshots and like
Yep.
shortcuts.
It's just like the small like convenience features, and then
Yeah,
having everything sync across all your devices seamlessly. I don't know. I'm 100% Apple all the way now.
yeah.
So, all right. Well, I will make sure that your wife listens to this podcast so that way she knows what's on your wish list. What are you drinking? What is that?
That's
That is
it's
the
my
cutest thing.
it's my wife's coffee company
Oh
that
my goodness. What's in
I got like
it?
a candy cane in here.
Oh, how cute. Oh, I do have a festive mug. This is well, it's like my coffee's gone now, but you can't really see it.
Oh yeah.
But these are like really old. They belong to my parents.
Oh,
They're like
that's
a whole
awesome.
set. So that's what my tradition. I drink out my coffee every day out of a Christmas mug. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Makes me feel warm and fuzzy. Plus, there's snow on the cup, but there's not snow on the ground, so I'm good with it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
well, I wish you luck at the conference,
Oh yeah, thanks.
and thank you so much for being
Yeah.
on the podcast.
Yeah, definitely.
You'll have to
Yeah.
give us links of where we can buy your wife's coffee too.
Oh yeah.
Y'all are like the
That's
most
easy.
creative people.
Yeah. It's malficoffee.com, MALFI coffee.com. It's pretty easy.
Did she put that little tree up in the back too?
Oh yeah.
Is that BitMindz
We got
colors? It sure is.
yeah.
I love it. She always ties
Yeah.
everything in so nicely, even at the booth. Well, awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being on. I wish you the very best on your travels.